What's good, fam? We're back again with more jelly printing videos. In this one, we'll be going over the basics of pulling a print and making texture with your jelly plate. We're gonna need our silicone mat, our jelly plate, some printing paper, a scrap piece of paper, our Brayers, paints, of course, some jelly printing combs. I just use cake decorating combs. And some fancy schmancy bubble wrap. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my first color. For this first print, we're just pulling a single color print, just to kind of dip your pinky toe into the water. I'm using this dark skin turquoise. I put a good little dollop on there. And I'm gonna take my large brayer and just going to evenly cover the jelly plate with the paint, rolling it out with the brayer. And making sure to evenly distribute it throughout the plate, trying to get the edges and the corners. Cleaning off my brayer on the scrap sheet of paper by just rolling it a couple times on the paper. Now I'm grabbing a sheet of printing paper and just pressing it onto the painted jelly plate. You can then rub the paper into the paint either with your hand, or I'm using a Baron just because I have arthritic hands and Barons make it much more easy on my hands. But feel free to use the heel of your palm to really get in there and press that paper into the plate. And we're peeling up this printing paper. And look at that. We have a nice single color print. You can see all the rolling marks and stuff. The jelly plate really picks up texture very well, which is why we're going to play a little bit. So I'm grabbing this grape jelly purple, as I like to call it, putting a generous amount in little dots dispersed throughout the jelly plate. And I'm going to take my large brayer, and just like before, I am rolling the paint out so that it pretty evenly covers the jelly plate. And cleaning off the brayer again on the scrap piece of paper. Grabbing one of my cake decorating combs and just lightly dragging it in a nice little swoop motion. You don't want to press too hard because you can damage your plate, and you don't want to do that. But really, you don't need too much pressure. Grabbing my piece of printing paper and pressing the paper into the paint. Using my Baron. Now it's time to pull it up. I love this part. And look at that. See how it picked up the empty space of the lines that I created by combing through that paint, picking up the paint. And there we go, our first textured print. Now for our last textured print, I'm going in with this yellow that I really love. Same as usual, I'm just gonna put a good amount onto the plate and go ahead and roll it out so that I get an even layer of paint. I really love this yellow. I'm gonna take this sheet of bubble wrap and gonna carefully line it up at the bottom and then just gently place it on there. And I'm pressing on it with my hands so that you really get the impression of the bubble wrap texture. And look at that, already peeling up the bubble wrap, you can see the texture that the bubble wrap gave it. It's probably my favorite texture to make on the jelly plate, to be honest. And I just cleaned it off a little bit on the scrap piece of paper by setting the painted side down on the scrap piece of paper, just so the bubble wrap doesn't get gunked up. I want to be able to reuse it a lot of times. And then I went ahead and put a slice of clean printing paper onto the plate. We're gonna pull this up and just look at this, y'all. You're gonna see why it's my favorite texture. Oh, I love it. I love it. There's consistency in the lines, the lines of the bubbles, but then the inconsistencies of the different textures each bubble creates. So now it's time to review our prints. Well, I had fun. I hope you had fun. And until next time, bye!